Welcome into things that I learned in this year's Summer League. Now, I know this is a little bit late, however, I had to deal with some COVID, so better late than never, right? We're going to talk about some of my Summer League takeaways for guys that I talked about in my Summer League preview video, and how some of my opinions might have changed after Summer League. Now, I will be trying to drop a bunch of videos between now and the end of July. Maybe almost daily is the plan right now. I have a backlog of things, and now that I'm feeling better, I want to get out a few more things before I take a break in August. Anyway, let's start off with the disappointments, and then we'll talk about the positives. The biggest disappointment for me in Summer League was obviously Shaedon Sharpe only playing 5 minutes. He ended up tearing his labrum 5 minutes in, the Blazers' 7th overall pick. I mean, that is such a Blazers thing to happen, but it sounds like it's not too serious, and he should be ready for training camp, as he does not need surgery. We'll discuss that later tonight, live on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live, link in the description box below. But obviously, going into Summer League, there was a lot of hype around Sharpe, finally being able to see him play live, and we did not get the experience we all were looking for. Now we'll have to wait for preseason, but it should make preseason a little more intriguing. Another disappointment was Brandon Williams. He struggled mightily in Summer League. I had him in my preview video as a dark horse Summer League MVP candidate. I figured the way he scored the ball last season for the Portland Trail Blazers would translate well to Summer League, where we've seen high-octane scoring guards in past years have some phenomenal performances, and that was far from the case for Brandon Williams, who struggled shooting the 3 ball all Summer League long, struggled making the right play, was just really rough, and honestly had an easier time scoring the ball in the NBA near the latter part of last season than he did in Summer League, and I was pretty surprised at that being the case. And honestly, I don't think he makes a ton of sense for the Blazers on a two-way. He signed a 2-year, two-way contract basically in the middle of last season, so he's still on a two-way for Portland. However, as a defensively questionable small scoring guard, I don't think that makes a ton of sense for the Blazers with their two-way. I would have rather the Blazers gone out and gotten maybe a big defensive-minded pass-first combo guard with some potential, maybe some athleticism. A guy that fits that profile really well is Alondes Williams, who was undrafted and signed a two-way with the Brooklyn Nets this year. I wasn't a big fan of Brandon Williams on a two-way contract going into Summer League, and Summer League just kind of reaffirms that for me. The other big disappointment was Didi Louzada, who's still on a normal roster spot. However, the dude barely played in Summer League. There was games where he'd only play 8 minutes, and when he was out there, he looked like a guy that didn't know how to affect the game whatsoever. I don't know if he made a single shot the entirety of Summer League. The dude was just an absolute non-factor and just looked like one of those Summer League afterthoughts that aren't actually on the team, that you just throw together to fill out a Summer League roster and then you never hear from them again. However, the dude's on a main roster contract, and that's something that I definitely would try and move if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, to clear up a potential roster spot to add some big man depth. Didi Louzada doesn't really belong on this team in my opinion, no offense to him, but with all the wing depth that the Blazers already have, Didi Louzada just isn't needed, and he just didn't show me anything in Summer League. Now let's look at some of the positives. Let's start off with Trendon Watford, who won Summer League championship game MVP and made the second team for Summer League as well. He had a really good championship game, shot 3 for 5 from 3 in that game, and my takeaway for Trendon Watford is when he has time, his three-point shot looks good. When he has to speed it up, it's rough, and he needs to continue to work on speeding up his three-point shot and knocking down shots like that, because set shots where he's wide open, he knocked them down in Summer League. Shots off the dribble or shots that he didn't have as much time, he struggled with. In the NBA, you're not going to have a ton of time to shoot 3 balls. The game moves really fast, so he has to speed up his three-point shot, but we saw some sporadic play from Trendon Watford, but we did see a lot of the things that he showed us last year that we all know he can do with his playmaking, off the dribble game, being able to attack the rim and finish, and some of his defense. The three-point shot is what I was looking for from him. I thought when he had time, his shot looked improved, but when he didn't, it was still a bit rough. Greg Brown still is somebody that I don't have a ton of confidence in offensively, but defensively I thought he looked really good in Summer League. Now he only played 4 games, missed the championship due to an illness, which sucked, but But in order to become an NBA rotation player, I think he's going to have to become a really, really good defensive player. And he was recognizing things pretty quickly, had a couple impressive blocks, a couple impressive plays where he just went vertical and protected the rim without having to block a shot. All around, I thought he was really solid defensively, and the Blazers as a team was too. The defense from the entire Blazers Summer League roster was phenomenal. Greg Brown III was a part of that, so that was definitely a positive. Offensively, he's just still very, very raw and still many years away from being a positive on that end. Keon Johnson had a 25-point game in the 4th game of Summer League where he looked phenomenal. He shot the 3-ball really, really well. He looked comfortable with the ball in his hands, and he was one of, if not the most impressive second-year Blazer on this Summer League team, simply because we all know shooting has been a question mark with him throughout his career, even though his form has looked fine, and now that shooting form translates to some more makes, it seems like. He did shoot the 3-ball decently for the tanking Blazers last season. However, it was nice to see him hit a couple of threes off the dribble, run a little point guard. He was still a little erratic, still a few too many turnovers, but also had a couple impressive passes and looked a little bit more comfortable handling the ball, which maybe gives me a little bit more hope that he can be a guy that can run some point guard in the future. But overall, he's a guy that moves really well. Athletic, obviously, is an explosive jumper, but his change of pace, some of his stop and go stuff, just the way he moves is impressive, and being able to handle the ball a little bit better and then knock down some threes helped him be a more well-rounded offensive player. And then defensively, he was really, really good in Summer League too. So I was really happy with Keon Johnson in Summer League, and it's going to be hard for him to get minutes next year, but in a pinch, I wouldn't mind if the Blazers had to play them. Maybe they're giving Dame a rest day, maybe they have an injury, maybe somebody's banged up, knock on wood, and hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, Keon Johnson, I think, is a guy that could step in and help the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, last but certainly not least, Jabari Walker looks like a stud. I touted this guy as potentially an NBA-ready 3-and-D player. He looked the part in Summer League, shot the 3-ball well, and looked really good defensively. Walled off drives. When he got switched out onto guards, it wasn't a problem. Protected the rim a little bit, just made the right play and was in the right spot, and that also translates to his rebounding. He was phenomenal on the boards. He had a few different plays in Summer League where he crashed the offensive glass, got an offensive rebound in traffic, and then finished going back up as well. Also had a couple really nice passes in Summer League, showcasing some playmaking potential. I mean, I could not have expected a better Summer League performance from Jabari Walker. He showcased the traits that we all know he has that makes me think he has a really high floor in the league as a 3-and-D role player, but then also showcased a few flashes. He had a couple impressive drives, a couple impressive moments handling the ball, a couple impressive passes, and he's still only 19 years old, so tap into that and you definitely got something if you're Portland. Jabari Walker has a chance of being in the rotation next year. I will have a video talking about what I think the Blazers 2022-2023 rotation could look like, so stay tuned for that. But Jabari Walker was definitely the biggest bright spot of Summer League for Portland, and it was nice after Shane Sharp got hurt to have a rookie that was a bright spot. Anyway, I think the main other takeaway that you can take from this is the way the Blazers played defense. They flew around defensively, played really aggressive, shut down a New York Knicks team. The Knicks won 3 games in Summer League, lost 2. The 2 they lost was to Portland, and it's because Portland was the best defensive team they faced. And I think that's what you're going to see from the Blazers next season with them going small, is they're going to play quicker defensively, they're going to try and fly around defensively and play aggressive, and that is what Chauncey Billups wants to do. Now I think he has a little better personnel to enact that sort of game plan, so if the NBA Blazers can play defense like the Summer League team did, then it could be a really good and fun year next season. Anyway, that wraps up my Summer League recap. Let me know what you thought about any of the topics that I discussed in this video down in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. And I'm out of here. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.